the world. Okay. Well, everyone, the world as it is, if you look at the news, you may see that the world is beginning to heal itself since there are not many people going outside the ozone. The animal begin to enjoy its own peace time. So it's come naturally out into the open. So sometimes it's making us wonder, are we really destroy the world without realizing that? Well, let's take a look first about ourselves. Don't have to go that far about the world because the topic and the story that we're talking today is quite too far from our reach. Maybe not quite interesting, but hey, take a look at back. Maybe you might want to consider this again. All right? Heal the world. If you talk about yourself, here, this is how you can check whether you are progressing in meditation or not. This is the process of meditation in the primary step that you can check, quite simple. Okay? To do that, well, the thing is, you see, when you are meditating, the first step that you're going to check yourself whether you do it correctly and allow yourself to progress. You need to check whether you are relaxed or not. When you feel relaxed, this is the first check. Once you feel relaxed, stay like that further. When you see further, you will be aware of yourself. This is called the mindfulness states. This you maintain your awareness and relaxation. You will know that you want nothing else. You want to stay like this forever. You stay like this and you want to maintain this comfortable feeling and relaxation. This is something that allows you to check. Okay? One is progressed. You want to maintain it, and that is become to the third check, continuity. Check yourself. This is how you process. If it is not, you don't have to continue and force yourself to go through all the way. You can start over. This is kind of like resetting your meditation experience. If you feel I'm not relaxed anymore, not continue like this, pause. Open your eyes. Take a deep breath. Begin yourself ready for the second round to start over again. Meditation every time we experience new all the time. So don't have to be afraid of a new experience or starting over. It is better to start over than stuck yourself in the wrong direction and don't progress. So keep that in mind, okay? And when you process in meditation, you check it, you will see that practice meditation further. If we talk about it, you can separate into 6 categories about the benefit of meditation by using scientific benefit apply. So you will see that there are 6 benefits in here like health, emotions and habits, your self-control, your productivity, your relationship and social life, and environment, which is why we're going to talk about that today. And today, you see, since I'm talking about healing the world, maybe allow me, since our time is quite limited, I will skip this over about the health, emotions and habits, self-control, productivity and relationship and social life. I will focus on social, I will focus on environment, okay? Here, let's take a look in our environment. The thing is that if we practice meditation, how does it affect the environment, affect the world? This is quite interesting challenge question that many people try to wonder, because in well, I like to propose you one thing about what is called the Thai saying that picking flower affect to the moon. I'm not sure if there is any English in there, but if you do, please do leave the comment. I can keep that in mind. Thank you very much for sharing if you do have. Anyway, this is the question that some people and someone or many have wondering about themselves. If they do something or if they're just thinking, is there any result or affecting? In fact, if you look around yourself when you are angry, people can feel this kind of like environment or atmosphere at the time. So this is just only our thought, our mood can make people stay away from us. Don't have to mention about the world, right? So what about the effect of the world? Well, there is a book that is written by this guy. His name is Dr. Masaru Emoto. It was quite very interesting book, and it was once New York Times bestseller. The name is The Hidden Message of in the Water. Well, Dr. Masaru has done something about the water, and it's quite interesting way. Well, speaking about it is quite, I don't think we have much time, but let's take a look at this video. Maybe we can get the idea, all right?
Mr. Emoto became terribly interested in the molecular structure of water and what affects it. Now, water is the most receptive of the four elements. Mr. Emoto thought perhaps it would respond to non-physical events. So he set up a series of studies, applied mental stimuli, and photographed it with a dark field microscope. This first picture is a picture of water from the Fujiwara Dam. And this picture is the same water after receiving a blessing from a Zen Buddhist monk. Now, in this next series of pictures, Mr. Emoto printed out words, taped them to bottles of distilled water, and left them out overnight. This first photograph is a picture of the pure distilled water, just the essence of itself. These subsequent photographs, as you can see, are each different. This is the chi of love. And we move along here to thank you. And you can see where he taped that to this bottle here. But if you read Japanese, you already knew that. Now, Mr. Emoto speaks of the thought or intent being the driving force in all of this. The science of how that actually affects the molecules is unknown, except to the water molecules, of course. And it's really fascinating when you keep in mind that 90% of our bodies are water.
Makes you wonder, doesn't it? If thoughts can do that to water, imagine what our thoughts can do to us.
Now you can see from here, from the video itself that I had showing you earlier, you can see that experiment is quite something interesting, that the water can cause an effect. Well, imagine just like the last man that said in the end, and he said that imagine what the thought can do to the water, what it could do to our body. The thing about that is, you see, sometimes it's quite interesting to see that when just our thought can affect our environment. Here, further, speaking of the video that I just showed you, may not be convinced. Here is a real life experiment that they done, and using the children to be testing on this experiment by Dr. Masaru himself. Take a look one more video. It's quite short. Don't worry, enjoy.
In this experiment, Dr. Emoto's researchers used a glass of Tokyo tap water, which seems to be unable to form crystals, and performed a test. Participants placed the glass in the center of their circle and sent gratitude to the water. Studying the water under the microscope, they started to see a crystal formation. Increased magnification showed the symmetry of the crystal, revealing how the tap water was transformed by the gratitude sent by the group. The crystal continued to grow, expressing the energies received. The tap water from Tokyo finally produced a beautiful crystal.
It was interesting to see children so completely astonished after they witnessed the difference in Tokyo tap water, before and after they sent the prayer. Their mothers were kind of skeptical before this experiment. But afterwards, they said, "We really have to believe it."
All right. And as you may see from this video itself, you can see that just only by circle around just the water, the thought that is positive can make the water crystal become very beautiful and pretty. Turn it from ugly into pretty one. And imagine this. If you take a look at this diagram that I show you, 70% of the body is water. And also the 70% of this planet is also water. You can see now that the environment can be affected by just our mind alone, let alone our action. So that you can see in here, if you can want to start making yourself be happy, making your mind be healthy, your thought alone can also affect. Because you can see from the experiment, I'm not trying to show that it should be really belief, but it's just quite interesting way that they are showing on their experiment. This is something that can help you to see the effect of our mind. Okay, so if our mind alone can affect the body, what about the water around our world? You can see here we can save the world, because if we start from ourselves, this peace can happen. So this is one way that we can save the world. And if you can see from now, there is some experiment that I had done in 1993. According to the TM study in Washington, D.C., about 18% of violent crime was reduced when 4,000 people meditate together. So that's if it's just everyone in the room and in their home and in the whole town, in the whole country, don't go out meditate. This can also make it happen and possible. So this is one another alternative way that we can heal the world. And I like to propose our activity on this day of Earth Day on the April 22nd, which is coming this Wednesday.